Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Today's flavor is white chocolate by Barissimo from Aldi's. It's really good. It was one of their Christmas specialty coffees, and I think I stocked up on that. I know I stocked up on a few that I really liked. I didn't go crazy and buy like 20 boxes of each. I bought like maybe 3 or 4 boxes of each, but that should last me for a while. But anyway, I like trying different flavors and having different flavors of coffee. I think it's fun. So, and since I very rarely, in fact, I never go to the drive-through coffee unless I'm with my daughter. And then sometimes she buys, sometimes I buy, and we share a cup of coffee because we're usually going somewhere like Costco. So anyway, but I very rarely go through a drive-through for coffee. Sometimes in the summer, I'll go through McDonald's drive-through. Their iced coffee is pretty darn good, but I don't go out much anymore. So, and Mark's is right across the street from McDonald's. So sometimes in the summertime, I'll stop at McDonald's and get myself a cup of iced coffee. But that won't be happening for a while because today's high is only going to be 30, but the snow is melting, and I looked at the forecast for the week, and it looks like the weather is going to be in the 30s. So that's okay. There is some snow off and on, but who knows? With the weather, I always say the weatherman has a job where he's wrong such a large portion of the time, but he makes good money. So they haven't perfected the weather forecast, that's for sure. But yet they're trying to fool with controlling the weather, and I don't know. Maybe that's not a bad thing. I don't know. Maybe it is if you use it for nefarious reasons, but we won't go there because that's a lot of conspiracy theory too, and it's also a lot of truth because I know with the chemtrails I've seen it, and I've even posted videos where it looked like a tic-tac-toe board. So you can't tell me that's just jet fuel burn off. So, yeah, it's called cloud seeding, and it's actually a real thing. I don't know how well it works, but it's a thing. So I made too much coffee here. Have to be careful. Cheers. Yep, that's very tasty coffee. So I think I'm going to stay home today, do a little cleaning up here and there. I don't know what I'm going to clean up yet. I have lots of choices, but the downstairs main part of the house looks pretty good. So yesterday I went to brunch with 2 of my friends, and we went to First Watch, and I had their cheddar and broccoli soup. It was one of those twofer things, and half a sandwich, and I had their veggie sandwich, and oh my gosh, was that good. It was really, really tasty. It had mushrooms and zucchini chopped up real small, and I don't know what all was on it, but I'd like to make that. It was so good. So I never did go to Whole Foods. By the time we got out of there, it was like 2:30. We went at 11:30, and we had a nice conversation. So I told the girls, I said, we should do this once a month or once every 6 weeks and just get together and, have a nice chat. So anyway, that was my day yesterday, and by the time we were done there, I did stop at Heinen's like for 5 minutes because they have a vegan luncheon meat that I can't get anywhere else, and it's salami, and it's really good. So, okay, well, I will meet you over there at the budget book. Okay, back at the budget book. Well, yesterday I did spend money. Like I said, I stopped at Heinen's. I did not go to Whole Foods. I just wasn't feeling it. It was like, oh no, I just want to go home. So that's what I did. I didn't do any other stops except for Heinen's, and that was right on the way back to my house. So I did pick up some vegan luncheon meats that I can only get at Heinen's. So that's what I got, and they're not cheap. You know, it's one little packet is like $5, but it lasts me a long time. You know, I only use like one slice or sometimes two. I think they recommend like 4 or 5 slices, and it's low in calories, and yeah, it does. It lasts me quite a while. So, and I can make wraps with it, or you know, sandwiches, whatever. So that's what I ended up buying, and then I just came home because we were at the restaurant for quite a while. So I ended up spending, well, $15 plus a tip. So it was under $20, but it was really, really good. And I didn't realize that, you know, on the way out, that First Watch has their own cookbook too. And it was like, oh, look at this. My 2 friends started laughing at me. It's like, oh, there she goes again with the cookbooks. But I didn't buy it. But it was, if you really like First Watch, they do have their own cookbook. And I know Panera has a cookbook out. Panera even has a cookbook of how they make their sourdough bread. And I've had that cookbook for many, many years. And in the cookbook, in the Panera cookbook, they start their sourdough starter with organic grapes because there's yeast on the skin of the grapes. So one of these days, I've made a sourdough starter with my kombucha, my homemade kombucha, but I haven't made that in a long time either. I guess I'm getting really lazy when it comes to cooking. But that's not my focus right now. My focus is getting my house in order. So I'm focusing more on just convenience foods. And I know they're not healthy, and I never ate a lot of convenience foods in the past. And I don't eat only convenience foods, but I have been relying more on them than I've ever done so in the past. So, but I'll get back to the cooking because I really enjoy cooking. But cooking does take time, and time that I do have, I want to put towards getting my house back in order and downsizing. I mean, that's kind of what started the whole business, was the purging and the downsizing, because as I'm getting older, I don't need all that stuff anymore, and I'm just weeding out the things that I don't need anymore. But I'm keeping the things that I like. So it's not my mission to, go the minimalist route. It's my mission to have a reasonable amount of things that I can still take care of. And as my age progresses, that'll change too. And down the road, I'll probably just continue to get rid of things as necessary. So that was my spending, and I will show you what I bought. And that's it on my budget book. I'm still planning low spend, no spend. I want to have at least 2 weeks of no spend in February, and the rest I want to keep low spend. All right, without further ado, let's go on to another reading by Julia Cameron. It's time for another reading by Julia Cameron. Life lessons. So let's see what the reading for today is. Our words of wisdom. And this book has a lot of words of wisdom. So today is February 4th, moving right along. And Puxatani Phil did see his shadow, so we should be having 6 more weeks of winter. We still have snow on the ground. Yesterday was 54 up for the high, and it was really nice. I mean, it wasn't like a 54 really sunny day. It was kind of overcast, but it was a pleasant day. So it was a nice day to go out and about. But there was so much ice that even that temperature didn't melt everything. But it did melt quite a bit of it. So everything looks really dirty now, muddy. You know, the roads look muddy. Everything looks muddy. But I'm not going to complain. But we won't have any highs that high for a while again. Because like I said, it's going to be in the 30s, which I'll take it. It's better than the 20s and the teens. So let's move along to our reading. Today it says, Nervous one, your nerves are frayed. You are agitated and ill at ease. You cannot find calm or comfort. Turn to us. Allow us to soothe your psyche. We bring you the assurance that all is well. Divine order prevails. You are safe and protected. We guard and guide you, that no harm comes your way. Relax. Breathe deeply. Inhale God. Exhale anxiety. Let every breath become a prayer. I like that one a lot, and I do that. If I'm really feeling anxious or, you know, you get those thoughts that run through your head that you can't turn off, that's what I do. I'll sit and breathe in. Well, like it says, breathe in God. And what I visualize is that it comes in through the top of my head. I inhale it through the top of my head, and then I exhale whatever anxiety or negative thing that I have going on. I release it. So, and it does work to calm me down. I don't get really crazy nervous that often, but you know, when you've got a lot going on and it becomes overwhelming, then I mean, pretty much anybody can get anxious and nervous about things. So anyway, I've been doing that for a lot of years, and I'm glad she included something like that in her little book here, because it does work for me. So give it a try. You know, what do you have to lose? And inviting God into your life and into your body, to me, that's a win-win. You know, but I know not everybody believes that, but you have to find your own place when it comes to that. But that definitely works for me. So yesterday I stopped at Heinen's. We don't have a whole lot of Heinen's grocery stores here. I have a couple. Well, there's the one in Rocky River where we had brunch, but there's also one in Middleburg Heights, but it's 20 minutes maybe from my house. It's not that far, but I'll stop there sometimes when I'm in that area, but it's not a store that I regularly shop in. And they carry a different brand of vegetarian luncheon meat. It's called Yves, Y-V-E-S, I believe it's spelled. And they make a salami that's really good. Most of the grocery stores around me carry the Tofurky brand. and it's good too, but you know, I really should get back to making my own luncheon meat, and I've done that in the past, and it was really good. But I've been really lazy when it comes to cooking lately. Plus that, I'm trying to, as you know, cook down my freezer. So I have prepared foods in there that I want to cook up, and some of them I will replace. And I know a lot of people will poo-poo the vegan and vegetarian meats, but I do read the ingredients, and they're no worse than a lot of regular food that people eat. Most of them, you know, I mean, if you don't eat soy and you don't eat gluten, then they wouldn't be for you. But, you know, I don't know. I don't think most of the ingredients in those meats are any worse than regular food, if you want to call it regular. So I didn't cheers you with my coffee. Cheers. And I would like a sip. So I've still been eating the little cup of yogurt in the morning, and that seems to coat my stomach a little bit because I really don't eat breakfast until later in the day. It's more a brunch. So putting acidic coffee in my belly first thing in the morning on an empty stomach is probably not the smartest thing to do, but I'm still using those little acid reducer packets, and those seem to help too. So anyway, they delivered these for my kitchen island because I still can't open my oven all the way because the handles on the doors stick out too far, so I can only open the door so far, and then I can't open it any further unless I move the cart. So I bought these handles, and they're flat, and they just pull out, and these will be perfect. So I'm going to replace the handles on my kitchen cart with these, and then I'll be able to finally open my oven door all the way. And that way I don't have to move all this stuff, because that kitchen cart, it's fully loaded, of course, and it's heavy. It's heavy to move. So I'll still have to move it to get into, I have a corner cabinet there, but I store things in there that I don't use very often. So I'll still have to move it for that, but you know, that maybe once every couple months I'll need something in that cabinet. But the oven door was a real problem for me because, you know, if I did need to bake something in there in a bigger pan, I had to jump through hoops to get to the oven. So anyway, I bought those, a couple days ago, and they came yesterday. So another thing that arrived yesterday was a new mug warmer. Now I have several mug warmers. Some of them are pretty old. The problem, there was two problems with the mug warmers I have. One of the problems was it did not keep my coffee warm enough. It just kept it like a lukewarm, and that's the temperature that I like the least for coffee. I either like my coffee iced or I like it on the hotter side. I mean, not burn your mouth hot, but you know what I mean. So I really, the coffee warmer that I was using just kept the coffee like just a lukewarm. So I wasn't happy with that. But it would be great for melting candles when I make my own candles out of the leftovers from jar candles. It'll be great for that. And then the other problem was the little switch to turn it on was like, you know, it's on the cord. I don't know why they do it like that. They should at least make the switch close to the appliance, but they make it like way down the cord. And I had it on my seat next to my chair, and it was just a fumble thing, you know, to try and get the little switch and turn it on. It just was not working. So I found a mug warmer that I can actually control the temperature, and I can control how long it stays on, and it even came with a mug. Now, it wasn't cheap. It was like, I think it was $35, but you know, it has an insulated mug that comes with it too. So I'm happy with it. I used it yesterday, and I'm happy with it. So I did get those two things, but that wasn't yesterday. That was, a couple days ago. So anyway, I will show you the luncheon meats that I got from Heinen's. And yeah, so I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Well, these are the luncheon meats that I got from Heinen's. This is the veggie salami. And originally I bought this because there's a restaurant near me and they have a vegan menu. Now, I'm not vegan, I'm vegetarian, and there's a big difference between vegan and vegetarian. But I do eat vegan, like lunch meats and, you know, foods and stuff like that. But I'm not a vegan. I eat eggs, I eat cheese, I eat everything but real meat. So I don't eat fish. I used to be a pescatarian where I would eat fish, but I don't eat fish anymore either. So anyway, that's a whole nother story. So they have the veggie salami, and back to the restaurant. They used to make like a vegan dupe of, what are they called? Roman burgers. And I always liked Roman burgers from Mr. Hero. So they used to use this salami. Whoops, it attacked me. They used to use this salami on their Roman burger dupe. Okay, because I asked them, you know, I said, well, what do you use for the luncheon meat? And they said the Eves. Well, like I said, Heinen's is the only place that I can get it. So I got it there, and every now and then I'll pick up a couple of packs and I'll freeze one or two. So, but it was a really good sandwich. So I wanted to recreate it here at home with either the Beyond Meat or what's the other one? The Impossible Meat, whichever one. Or sometimes I make my own out of TVP, textured vegetable protein. So anyway, moving on, that's how I came upon the Eves salami, and it's really good. I like it. Then I did buy their veggie turkey, which looks pretty good. And I've had the Tofurkey turkey before, and it's good too, but I wanted to try a comparison with this, see which one I like better. So I got that, and then I also got the veggie pepperoni. So, and they're just little pepperonis. Because I used to like, when I ate meat, my favorite pizza was always pepperoni, mushrooms, and onions. So I can kind of recreate that. And let's see, what else did I get? I just got the luncheon meats. I went in there, I went out because they are kind of high priced. I wouldn't do my regular weekly grocery shopping there because they are more expensive. But that's the only place where I can get this particular brand of luncheon meats. So anyway, that's some of the stuff I bought. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So, all right, well, I'll be back in a little while and we'll see what the rest of the day brings. Okay, the new handles are working just right. Boy, doesn't leave much space there, but now I can open the oven all the way. These come out like this. Now I had to tweak a couple things in order to make them fit. I had to put a bolt on the inside. I couldn't use the screws that came with the handles. I had to put a nut, not a bolt, on the inside, but it works great. So yay, after all this time, I finally solved the dilemma. And of course, with this bolt here, they don't close totally flat, but that doesn't matter. It's fine. It works for what I needed. And this is the kind of handle that was on there that stuck out way too far. So there we go. Another thing that works in my house. Yay! Here's the mug warmer I got from Amazon. And it's got, this is how you turn it on. It goes up to 180 degrees, and the more you push this down, it'll go less, and it remembers your last setting. And if you want to change the amount of hours, I think it goes up to 20 hours. You just keep hitting this button. So I really like it. I tried it out this morning, and it actually kept my coffee at a perfect temperature for drinking. And it came with this cup. The bottom comes off and it's metal, and then you can put it on there. Or you can just put the bottom on and put it on a regular surface. And it's insulated, and it comes with this nice top. I'm not affiliated with this at all. I just found it on Amazon, and if I remember, I'll put a link to it, but I really like it. It's perfect. Just what I was looking for. So my little friends, my babies, Lizzie's taking a nap, but she feels better. I think she's depressed. She's missing Chloe. I know I am too. And I know Bandit misses her too. But they used to cuddle with her all the time. These two don't cuddle together too much, but they both cuddled with Chloe. So she's feeling better, little Lizzie, but I still think she's kind of depressed. Poor babies. I had the three of them since they were babies, all three of them. Well, Lizzie came a little later, but Bandit and Chloe, I had them both as baby puppies, and that was a lot of work, housebreaking 2 puppies, but yeah, I mean 10 years later, almost 11. Well, anyway. That's what happens. Okay, well, time for some afternoon tea, and this is some stomach tea, some chamomile tea, and some fennel tea that I put in my little teapot. So, cheers. It seems to help. And I put honey and monk fruit sweetener in there, and it's very tasty. So I got my Costco magazine, because I have a Costco membership, of course. And they have an article in here about decluttering. And there's really nothing new. that I don't already know. But what they suggest is when you first start to declutter, you put everything in categories. So you put like with like, and that way you can see how much of everything you have. So once you get all that done, that's the first phase of it. Then you can start actually decluttering it and letting it go. I mean, you could do that as you go along, but by putting it all in categories, you can see how much you actually have. So they talk about that. And then, of course, there's different kinds of people that hold on to stuff. Some of it is just because for security's sake. Some people are sentimental clutter keepers. There's all kinds of reasons why people hold on to things. Now, for me, I know I hold on to things for security's sake. I do the what if, and that's why I'm a prepper too. It's like, well, what if the grid goes down? What if this or what if that? Now, I know a lot of people will say, oh, that's just silly. But, if you look back in history, there have been many times where populations, things have changed and populations have gone under. Their people have actually starved. It's happened in Russia. It's happened in China. It's mostly in countries where basically the communists take over, or the socialists, whatever. But it does happen. Or like during the war, my mom told me stories about how hungry they got during the war. There just wasn't any food available. And just because something didn't happen in your lifetime, I mean, the baby boomer generation, I mean, we did have Vietnam and all that stuff, but all our wars have been on foreign soil. But it's not impossible, especially with technology advancing the way it is, that at some point it could come to the homeland too. So, but that's not what I'm making this video about. I don't want to fearmonger or anything, but that's why I save clutter. It's because, oh, I might need this someday. But I'm getting real tough with myself and just letting a lot of things go. I mean, even if that worst case scenario were to happen, I would still have enough stuff that, I would be okay, at least for quite a while. So, sentimental clutter, some people have a hard time letting go of that. I don't have that problem. Like, I don't have a lot of my kids' old toys. I don't have a lot of memorabilia from trips. I just don't have a lot of that stuff. It just doesn't mean that much to me. Now, I do have a lot of photographs, but they're all organized. Most of them are in albums, and, I have an album for each one of my kids, and I don't want to declutter my photographs. They're perfectly fine the way they are. But again, we all have reasons why we hold on to clutter. So, and then one thing that I found really useful in this article, they have 3 places where you can go online and find professional organizers. And one of them, the first one, is National Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals. And it's NAPO.net, NAPO.net. And you can find certified professional organizers there anywhere in the United States, along with the services they provide. So that is the website if you need to have some sort of a resource if you're thinking about hiring a professional organizer. That's NAPO.net. The second one is Institute for Challenging Disorganization and that website is challengingdisorganization.org. And they have chronic clutter affects your quality of life, we know that, or you suffer from mental health issues or neurological impairment that makes organization a challenge. Find a trained professional anywhere in the world to address your challenges. So that's another resource if you need help and you're looking for a professional to help you. And then the last one is the American Society of Professional Organizers, and the website for that is amspo.org. ASPO organizers emphasize simplicity over productivity to minimize maintenance. So I thought that might be helpful for some of you that have gotten to the point where you might need a professional organizer. Now, I never needed one until my whole house kind of blew up. And that happened because we moved so much stuff around, and I've been purging, so I had stuff pulled out that I was working on, and it just got to be so overwhelming. So I did hire a professional organizer for a day. Now, it was not cheap. It was $750 for the day, but my whole basement now is organized. But I do still have to go through and declutter a lot of things down there. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I thought that might be some useful information for somebody out there that finds themselves in a quandary. And you might also want to check with your senior center. You know, they might have students or other seniors that like to organize that might be a little cheaper or free. I don't know. I haven't checked that out, but you might want to check there. So, all right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Don't forget to share, and thanks for watching.